This video is brought to you guys by FragranceBuy.ca. As we do every month, I talk about this website. And this site is my favorite site and best recommendation for a lot of the fragrances you might be looking for at some of the best prices around the internet, from designer to niche.
Clone, if you're into that kind of thing.
And they're always getting new releases. They're always getting some of the newest, hottest stuff that's coming out on the market and getting it at lower prices than you'll find it retail. And they have a fantastic rewards program. And I do hear they will soon be opening up shipping to Europe and the UK. So you guys across the pond, brace yourself. All 10 of the fragrances I'm going to share with you can be found at FragranceBuy.ca if you are interested in checking them out for yourself. So let's get into this topic. This is a very simple topic, as we like to do in this channel. One of those simple but not basic videos. We're talking about the summertime. We're talking about fragrances, and how many ways can we talk about fragrances in the summertime? Obviously not enough, because I keep coming up with topics, but it's all good fun. There's lots of fragrances to pair with different occasions, and I'm going with dressed up occasions. Yes, you want those occasions where you're going to put on a collared shirt, something like this, maybe something even nicer than this. You want to dress your best. You want people to take you seriously. You want people to know that you're coming in with an air of sophistication, with elegance, with respect and kindness, and you're just gonna be an elevated presence in the room. And you want a fragrance to match that, but it's warm, you're feeling the heat, maybe you're sweating a little bit. No one has to know. It's okay. As long as you shower beforehand, you're good. And make sure you wear deodorant, guys. Very important. And you want a fragrance to match that vibe, to match your elevated energy and presence. You want something that smells fresh, relatively clean, relatively. There's a lot of ways we can accomplish that, but you want it to have some depth. You want it to have some interest. And I have 10 selections that I think approach it all a little bit differently to have you smelling dapper, smelling sophisticated and well put together, and just, you know, boost your confidence. And regardless of if anyone says anything about it, if you get any compliments, that doesn't matter, because you can't control that. So don't worry about what you can't control. Just worry about what is in your control, which is loving the fragrance that you're going to put on and have match your ensemble and all that. Anyway, that's all I got to say in our intro. Let's dive right into these 10 fragrances. And I do have some surprises for you guys. Fragrance Buy did send over 3 fragrances that I haven't tried yet. I haven't even opened them up yet. They're still in their boxes. They're 3 fragrances I've had a lot of anticipation for, so I'm really eager to spray them for you here on camera and give you my impressions. Now, can we say that there's a little bit of a contradictory nature to me saying these are the absolute best hot weather men's fragrances that you can wear if I haven't tried them all?
Of course there's some contradiction to that, but
they literally just came in the mail today, so I figured rather than trying to spray them on and get to know them for a matter of minutes and then give you my full review of them and tell you what I think of them through and through, that would be inauthentic. So I figured it's going to be more authentic for me to just spray them right here on camera and experience them with you guys. And if you've tried the 3, then I want you guys to chime in the comments and let me know what you think. And obviously not just these 3, all of them. I've been wanting to try this since it came out a couple years ago, and I'm glad to finally have it in the collection from Cartier, one of the most underdiscussed and underrated designer houses, period. This is from their Declaration line, a flanker I didn't have, called Declaration Haute Fraicheur.
pretend there was a French accent there.
Let's get this open. Let's get it on skin. You'll see in the B-roll we have the typical Cartier Declaration presentation, and this time we have a greenish colorway. So I'm expecting something green, fresh, herbal, uplifting in a way, maybe a little citrusy. We'll see. I got a bunch of free skin. I'm gonna have to shower after this video because I'm gonna be putting several things on me, and I'm not going out into the world smelling like a circus. Yep, a tiny bit of the original Declaration DNA's in there. I am getting the tea from the original DNA. I'm getting a little bit of the fresh spiciness, maybe cardamom or something. And I'm still getting a bit of the citrus, like the bitter orange vibe, something kind of juicy, tangy. It's making my mouth water, but it is quite green and cooling and herbal and natural smelling. Right off the bat, I was reminded of another Cartier fragrance, not from the Declaration line, but from the Rivieres line, called Luxuriance. Lovely scent. I feel like this is a little bit more smooth, maybe more complex smelling than that. That's a great scent. This has more body. This has more going on. This is much more interesting than that. Not a fragrance I would say is a statement maker. It's really nice. It's going to have you really kind of blending in and not really being obtrusive in people's space, but not in a way that's forgettable, not in a way that is very generic or something that they've smelled before. It does stand out as something outside of the norm as far as mainstream fragrances go, but as far as smells in the environment, it could be like whatever the hotel lobby is pumping, so to speak. All in all, I like this. I can't wait to give it some more wear, to give it a full wearing in the heat, maybe daytime, slightly more dressed up vibes. This would be a good one, maybe wearing it to work. If you want to be a little bit more professional, I think it'll work for that. Nonetheless, that's our first one. That is Cartier Declaration Haute Fraicheur. I know you guys are going to come at me in the comments. Next one up is from the House of Creed, one that does not get much talk. Those who have tried it, maybe some people are saying it's not remarkable. I totally get it. I understand. I happen to really like this stuff. Not a 10 out of 10, but it's a good, solid scent that does have some uniqueness to it. This is Tabarome Millesime, kind of a fresh, summery tobacco. Spicy, citrusy. There's a little tiny bit of this warm earthiness from the tobacco, but it's very transparent. It's sparse. There's just a lot of air that's flowing through it. So it is overall fresh, woody, kind of citrusy, spicy, maybe a little bit salty in a way. I do get this vibe. I've always gotten this almost like the flanker of Millesime Imperial. If they took Millesime Imperial and added some tobacco and maybe some spice and maybe a more woody base in a way instead of musky as it is, I don't know. Not exactly that, but if you want a reference point, that's probably the best I can give you. So if you're a fan of Millesime Imperial, but you want something that smells a little bit more grown up, a little bit more mature, then maybe check it out. Now, if you're going to come into it looking for beast mode performance,
you must be new around here.
Creed is not known for that. We need to just set it in our mind. I will not expect strong performance from Creed. And if that's not okay with you, then don't give him your money. Don't buy it. Pass it up. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat. Sleep well tonight. I get maybe 4 to 6 hours, and that's plenty, at least for me. Anyway, let me know what you think. That's Creed Tabarome Millesime. From Hermes, a classic that is a little bit polarizing. I didn't love it at first. I love it now. Terre D'Hermes EDT. This is a classic and it's absolutely timeless. Vetiver forward, and we're actually going to see quite a bit of vetiver on this list. This is citrusy, spicy, woody vetiver. Orange is the primary citrus note here. It's all wrapped up in this kind of musky, iso-y super, this membrane that's fresh, and it just kind of carries the scent in a slightly more transparent way. I think it softens the vetiver a little bit, but the vetiver here is up front. It is earthy. Some people say it's dirty. I don't get any dirtiness out of this. I get a groundedness, I get a rootiness, I get an earthy quality that is very present without being too much. But if you've never smelled a scent profile like this, if you are not familiar with vetiver, then it might be a little difficult, and that's okay. In that case, I would not recommend a blind buy. It's carried at just about every department store across the world where they sell fragrances, so try it out there. And if you want to get it for a good price, then get it at Fragrance Buy. Don't buy it at the store, but you probably already knew that. Nonetheless, that's Terre D'Hermes EDT. You can wear this in a variety of occasions, but it works so well dressed up when there's some heat. We've got an absolute classic here. I do believe it was discontinued, and then I'm a little confused because maybe it came back in some way. At least on the discounters, I've seen it floating around, and that's where I scooped up this bottle. And this is Prada Amber Pom. Now, I know for a fact this is some kind of newer formulation of it because it's bluish gray when it used to be purple. That was the original color, and now that it's like bluish gray, I was like, did they really reformulate this stuff to smell differently? And not really. I mean, I'm not going to say it's exactly what it was before. The same overall scent profile, a very soapy, clean, kind of ambery, resinous fragrance, but very heavy on the soapiness. Maybe some white florals, things that make it just soapy, clean, just very posh smelling. But there is this nice kind of warm sweetness, ambery quality in the background as it dries, and I do believe that's where it gets its name. It's a lovely scent. It's a very handsome fragrance. It's very easy to wear. You just smell clean. Nothing wrong with smelling clean and high quality, but you know, some people may claim that the performance is not what it was. I don't know if it was ever truly strong, but for me, regardless, it performs great. I put this on and I was smelling it for like 8 hours. So You know, just know that your mileage may vary, but I'm not going to put a ton of weight on the performance change or not. I don't know. Obviously, you'll have to be the judge because your experience will be your experience. That is Prada Amber Pom. Let me know what you think. Still got the Cartier on this hand. It's smelling very herbal. I'm reminded of like cooking herbs in a way, and I can't say it's my absolute favorite thing. At least at this point, I'm reminded of like tomato leaves or something. Not bad, but it smells like food. In a way. We'll see how it does by the end of the video. Let's open up another fragrance. This is the brand newest fragrance. I do believe it was released 2025 from Issey Miyake, and this is L'Odyssée pour Homme EDT. Let's check it out. I dig this bottle. I love this like almost silver wood cap. Silver wood. That's a cool name. Let's give this a spray. Okay, I'm immediately reminded of the original L'Odyssée pour Homme, but it's deeper, it's more dense, very citrusy and zingy, but it's a heavy citrusy freshness. Yeah, I believe it's yuzu in here that is really sharp, sour, it's dry. This is nice. I haven't smelled this DNA in a long time. Oh, this is nice. I love this vibe. I love how definitive it is, how much of a personality it has. I feel like this is going to be amazing in the heat. When the sun heats this up, the citrus is just going to sing. It might even get a little bit sweeter. I like this a lot. I've always been impressed by Issey Miyake. I need to get more of them in my collection. Anyway, let me know what you think of this one. If you tried it, I'll keep coming back to it and obviously report back with more after I wear it. I do believe it's going to make a great, dapper, citrusy profile to wear. Oh, this is good stuff. I could see it day or night. It does have a heaviness to it that does still lend itself to an evening, more dressed up occasion. Even for being so citrus forward, there's something borderline ambery sweet, very subtly. Definitely some woodiness in the background. I got to get to know it better. Anyway, let's move on. I recently did a video talking about fragrances I was wrong about. The fragrances I smelled at first impression and was not impressed, and have since come around because I gave them full wearings and realized there's something special to these scents. This is one of those fragrances I was not impressed. If you saw my first impressions short I did on this just last year, I was like, what is this? I was so confused, but I've since come around to it and I'm really liking it more and more and more. It's slowly creeping up the like ladder for me. This is from Tom Ford. It's Bois Pacifique. This is lovely stuff. It is an unusual kind of aquatic scent. If you can imagine Ebon Fumé from Tom Ford, but lightened up a bit, less dense and heavy, definitely way less smoky, but this kind of slightly ambery, smoky, spicy, woody scent profile that is just toned down, much more embering than burning. A little bit more of this ambery sweetness in the base, and add in an aquatic component, something a little salty, a little sea air-ish. That is the vibe of Bois Pacifique, and it's not what I thought it would be. Again, I was expecting something like the Pacific Ocean in terms of the West Coast, like the sun is out, or maybe even it's a sunset or something, but no, this is more north. This is more tumultuous. This is more gloomy in a way, a little bit more introspective, but still handsome stuff, especially for evening. That's when I would save this for the summer. If you are going to wear it in the heat, save it for when the sun goes down. I feel kind of sad for the things I said about it at first, and I actually meant to include it in this video that I just referenced, the fragrances that I was wrong about. I just literally didn't see it in a bag. It was the last one in the bag and I forgot to grab it. So it didn't make it into that video, but it should have. Nonetheless, I'm giving it its flowers here. I think this is a great upscale fragrance to wear that's still a little bit fresh, but has this ambery, woody, slightly sweet interest to it as it dries on the skin. And it's going to be great for those more upscale occasions for summer nights. Once again, that is Tom Ford Bois Pacifique. Let me know what you think if you've tried it. From Fragrance du Bois, still my favorite from the house that I've tried. We'll see if that ever changes. Oud Blue Intense, a just perfectly created and named fragrance. It does kind of smell blue, but there's nothing overtly blue about it. It's fresh by way of fresh resins, maybe a little bit of citrus and maybe some fresh spices, but not fresh in the way you would expect. It's not aromatic kind of fresh. There is a cleanliness here and there is an openness here, but it's not like cooling. It's not like herbs and things like that. It is kind of easygoing in its freshness, but it's so unique. Such a different scent profile. The oud here is very in the background. It's just a supporting player in its woody presence. It is so good. Day or night wear. Day or night wear. This is elegant stuff to wear. It's so unique, but it's so easy to understand. I honestly don't know how you could dislike this fragrance as being the way it is, which is again, very different, but very accessible. What a beautiful blend of those elements. And that's hard to do in a fragrance. Hard to make something not familiar, but also easy to understand. You don't see that often. That is Oud Blue Intense. Such a masterpiece of a fragrance. Honestly, I just gotta say. Up next is one of my absolute favorites in my collection, period. I've loved it ever since I first tried it years ago. This is from MFK, Maison Francis Kurkdjian, and it's Gentle Fluidity Silver. I've been hyping the crap out of this stuff for years now. It's a lovely juniper berry scent. Juniper berry is fresh and sharp, kind of gin-like, a little bit cooling. Definitely smells a little silvery. There's this almost metallic-y, musky feel that wraps it up, but there's this ambery warmth that's a little sweet with some vanilla as well that kind of grounds the scent, and it just acts to give it this nice accessible sweetness in the air that goes along and balances that cooling sharp freshness. And for whatever reason, for as simple as it is, it's a little unique and it's a great performer. All day wear on my skin, 10+ hours, no problem. Kind of stays fresh the whole time, maybe gets a little bit more musky and sweet as it dries. Anyway, let me know what you think of this one. Beautiful upscale wear for the hot weather, also day or night. If you want to smell different, but not be in anyone's face unless you choose to overspray irresponsibly, then check this one out. Maison Francis Kurkdjian Gentle Fluidity Silver. We've got one more Creed here, and this one I've had in my collection for years now. I haven't worn it all that much in recent years, but I still love this stuff. It's still a very special scent to me. Very well composed, relatively unique. Julien Rasquinet did a beautiful job with Vetiver Geranium. It's lovely stuff. Apple, crisp, a little fruity and sweet. Definitely a lot of geranium, slightly powdery, a little rosy, minty, maybe a touch of a lemony feel with a little bit of this clean vetiver. Clean, woody vetiver, more like Tom Ford gray vetiver type of vetiver. Clean, dry, woody. Nothing smoky, animalic, leathery, nothing like that. There's some other aromatics in here, maybe a touch of cinnamon or something like that. It's lovely stuff. It smells very posh. It smells very blazer and a nice shirt or even t-shirt underneath. It smells very daytime to me. Elegant lunch date vibes. It's kind of romantic in a way, but daytime romantic and still very masculine. Let me know what you think of it if you've tried it. Before we get to our last fragrance here, which is the final unboxing, which is a very special one, I want to come back to the Cartier. At least up close, this is not one of my favorite fragrances from this line. It smells a little bit too much like food to me. There's some kind of association I'm getting in a very savory way that just doesn't smell like something I would want to wear on my body. Nonetheless, I'm only experiencing it up close. I do want to wear it so it can be worn around me because that is the most realistic way to experience it for you as the wearer and for anyone around you that you'll be around when you're wearing it. So I'm going to give it a chance. I'm happy to have it. I'm happy to experience it. I'm going to give it several sprays because you do smell more of a scent when you spray more of a scent. That doesn't mean you got to overspray it. I'm saying 2-3 sprays can make a huge difference versus just one. So jury is still out. We'll see. But this Issey Miyake is lovely. It's actually been emanating in the air around me this whole time and kind of capturing me. I cannot wait to give this a wearing and get to know it better. This is going to be so good for the summer. Anyway, let's get to our last fragrance. I'm totally going to officially shut my nose down when I spray this one because you're just not supposed to smell this much all at once, but I'm doing it for you guys. But let me show you the box here. This is the first fragrance I've ever had in my collection in full bottle form from this house. You probably know this box. Frederic Malle. This is Vetiver Extraordinaire, perfumed by Dominique Ropion. I love how they have a bio, not a bio, but just kind of an explanation of Dominique's approach to creating the fragrance, his picture and everything. I love when a brand praises the perfumer who is responsible for giving them the fragrances that they're going to make money off of. It's the least you can do as a brand. I applaud you, Frederic Malle. Let's crack this open and get to know this legendary scent. And I've just got this cute little 50 ml bottle, once again sent to me by Fragrance Buy. They do carry this, so you can get it there for less than retail. I love these bottles. So iconic, but so simple. I'm gonna actually remove this watch here because I'm gonna put it on this hand and I don't want to spray my watch. Here we go. A lot of vetiver in the air right now. A lot of vetiver. Green, grassy, woody vetiver. Wow. Yeah, this is as vetiver as it gets, but it's not super smoky. There's still something fresh about it. I haven't put it up to my nose yet. Let me see. So there's something rich about this. I think I read that 25% of the composition is vetiver. That's a lot of vetiver. So I'm reminded of the vetiver presence you would get out of something like Sultan vetiver from Nichane, the very authentic nature of that. But there's something that, even though while it's very present and strong, there's something kind of delicate about it. There's something that kind of masks and mutes it in a way where it's not too in your face. It's very dense for sure, but it comes off with nuance. There's something that dances in and out with a lot of touch to it, a real light touch here. Really well done. Maybe there's some citruses, something slightly bitter as well. It is mostly vetiver. It's mostly dry, green, fresh, woody, musky in a way. Again, something kind of dancing in and out of it, making it so elegant. This is so upscale. This is fantastic. I understand why people love this stuff. I've smelled a couple clones of it. I have memory of those clones. I used to own one of them. They don't come close to this. In a lot of cases, you just can't beat the real thing, guys. The clone I remember was Dossier's clone. It was good. It was pleasant. Does not hold a candle. This is legendary. This is for vetiver lovers. If you love vetiver, you have to try this. I look forward to getting to know this coming summer season. Let me know if you've tried this one. That's Vetiver Extraordinaire from Frederic. Let me know if you've tried any of these fragrances. Once again, they'll be all linked down below in the description at fragrancebuy.ca. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.